Hi there, this is yours truly, Clarissa Talaga, and today is the 30th December 2021, being the last day for the month of September and in comes October. So as early as last week, I've been getting greetings, actually, I don't know, from two very special kids, from Juan and Jewel. So they're singing, "Happy birthday to you." So, tinuruan syempre ng ina niya, ni May. And I just want to show this picture. Yeah. This picture says a lot, not because it is complete, but because it is representative. So even though this picture doesn't include JM, my firstborn, and Lee, the second one, the middle child, and it also should include Jerry, my younger brother, and Mama's favorite son. Of course, I'm the favorite daughter and he's the favorite son, but it is the representative of whole family. But sometimes, for convenience sake, we hope against hope that a photo will be representative of what lies beyond. Take, for instance, Jewel will not be born without her father, si Paul, diba? John Paul Digno. So he is in that photo represented by May and Jewel. So for those who have not known me personally and who just happened to watch my video by chance, that picture looking at us was my mother, and she had passed away. And the baby I was carrying in that photo is my first grandchild, being the daughter of my daughter. So Joanna May, being my youngest daughter, she gave birth, of course. So nakailang generation in that photo is 3 generations from my mother. My mother would be the great-grandmother of Jewel, right? So also in that photo will be their family connection in Nueva Ecija, where the father of Juaname was born. So where she got her family name of Garcia. So some photos really are representative of the context and the backdrop of something. Like that picture will not be authentic without the prevailing relationship, without the civil registry, without the fact that my mother gave birth and I was that daughter, and without me giving birth to my 3 daughters. So we take it for granted, and yet minsan when we are called upon to examine and to present something that we take for granted, I cannot just say, like a dismissive statement like, alam nyo na yun. Di ba nakikita nyo naman kami magkasama? So dapat alam nyo na yun. When a person when a person is called upon to produce the proof of something that goes beyond what can be seen, because it boils down to the technical details of our existence, of our relationship, of the specimen of my thinking process, the specimen of relational status, or the conduct, our behavior towards each other, how we fulfill a purpose, a role within the family. So what constitutes being a head of a family? What does it mean to be a head of the family? this broadcast, I want to, I'm feeling very melancholic somewhat because tomorrow will be my birth month. So, um, you know, and the fact that the electoral process will begin again. Actually, it's formally, it has been going on for a lot earlier, pa, di ba? But formally, it will open its door tomorrow in the filing of certificate of candidacy for the candidates. And you know, being in this family had quite put us in the front seats. Um, I feel it both a privilege and a responsibility being so. And no matter our affiliation or how our opinions or perspectives may vary from one another, I guess, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, yun yung palagi sinasabi, we're very much a functional family. And this is actually what this broadcast is all about, because it's one way for me also of explaining to my own daughters the wait yeah, it's my way of explaining to my daughters how I had adopted a different mode of communication and things had suddenly changed. I will put a date on it, the changes, because it was consciously done. It was a result of careful thinking, being introspective and careful consideration of what had been going on. So after the 1st of March 2018, that was the date of my mother's passing, things had been quite different. No, it's not because sinusumpo or probably, you know, parang I just don't want to talk, or some subject matters kasi will require uh, proper context and proper documentation in order to give a chance and opportunity for informed decision, diba? As each of us, having reached the age of majority, is entitled to that, diba? To give our decision out of all the facts are already on the table, and as adult, they will be given a chance to make this decision. And with that, I want to show you these. What? Oops. Wait lang. Ay, ayaw pa rin niya. Sige, ganito na lang. So, being in the being in the information platform, I wanted by the different usage of information. Ano pala, like technically, it could mean, ako pa naman, no, in my own way, I thought that by capitalizing the first alphabet of a word, I would be putting emphasis to it. But that's just me. Some technicality, like sa batas natin, in our law, and in the kumbaga, in the framework, like sa COMELEC, the information, if it is capitalized, it has significance over the term information na hindi capitalized. So, it pays then talaga for us to have a background of sometimes, di ba, in making decisions, like me kahapon, I just had my registration, my application notarized at the National Privacy Commission. Yun. Because in the past, I am a caretaker of files containing personal information of various people who had attended our activities. They must write their names, and some of them would sign waivers, some of them would have authorization, permit from their guardians. So I am in possession of personal information that I have responsibility. I am duty bound to safeguard, diba? Not to divulge. So lahat ng ito po, bale, kasama sa, ito po ay bahagi ng aking ginagampanan na role, which in times past, I would discuss with my mother. But, wait. Upon her passing, of course, di ba, nabawasan yung makakausap ko openly about these things. So some of the responsibility would have to be fulfilled, and I want to say something about its significance at this point in time. Yeah. Ganun pala siya. Yeah. Okay, in 2012, this year was duly submitted and admitted as part of a judicial hearing being conducted in Branch 2 of the Municipal Trial Court of Lucena City, dated April 23rd, 2012. Guess who had penned this letter as a legitimate party? The respondent, whose petition was deemed as legitimate to be heard and be part of the transcript of record for the proceeding to reach its final resolutions. In this letter, she was, the undersigned, the one who had written this letter, she was voicing out her objections and appeal, which at the very least, the court had to take cognizance of. So may sinasabi siya dito sa sheriff's office, di ba? Humihingi siya ng palugit, humihingi pa siya ng oras, ng panahon. So with the rendering of judicial decision, it has become a foregone conclusion already, subject to appeal if I will appeal it for whatever reason I have. But I speak about the rules of the court and the guiding principles invoked all throughout the proceedings from beginning to end. Each step of the procedure, one of the many, not as an isolated case, but the conduct of the business from our end in connection to being a recognized party to conflicts being resolved. So I would think that the last days of my mother had become bearable and at peace, and I can see that she had been I can say that she had been at peace, because every day she's really workaholic, and every day we get to discuss the transactions and the conduct of the, you know, how the cases were progressing. And being someone who's stuck at home with just the television to entertain her, those those conversations were something to look forward to for someone like her. Those conversations stimulate her brain, stimulated her mind, diba? And it would require her to be more passionate, you know, not to take life as parang as it is, parang ano na siya, parang what do you call that? She had given up. No? She really raged against the night, diba? So until the very last lucid moment, she would feel the normal emotion of someone. When frustrated, she would get mad and she would get sad, and that's true for every normal human being, diba? So in spite of her physical incapacity, she was in some ways she was able to be a normal and ordinary person with emotions ranging from the turnout of the day's event, diba? So those conversations had been stimulant to her. It was something to look forward to, na pag may iniutos siya sa akin or kung kanino man, in the morning, she had expected result the following day and she would look forward to it, diba? For some people who are really into art, of course, they will not understand her. A very workaholic and business-minded woman that she was. So, diba, to each her own, to each its own. And so, yeah, so my mother was physically incapacitated, but not mentally incapacitated. This was just, yeah, this was just one of the daily communications and transactions that she was dispensing for me and for whoever was her caregiver in attendance, to bring in person to various authorities to acknowledge what her sentiments, what her communication would be. And that was how the primary reason my name and signature could be found in various government and private offices uninterrupted, not intermittently, not now and then, but consistently. But in order for proceedings to reach conclusions, the law had to delegate, even implicitly, to a person next of kin the authority to represent a party in a litigation. And it so happened that the party in litigation was physically handicapped. She could not leave home. She was bedridden. So someone had been duly authorized. Someone had to be acknowledged as her surrogate, diba? To have that physical presence. And that happened to be yours truly, her older of the two children. As you can see, her handwriting was already affected by the advancing paralysis of half her body. But that's also, which is also the reason for the other half to be weakened over time. So the irreversible nature of her disease, ayan, no, diba? So as you can see, her handwriting was already affected by the advancing paralysis of half her body. That's also weakening the other half. The irreversible nature of her disease was progressing before our eyes. And yet, until the end, she was persistent and consistent in her expressed will. During the time that she had tried to open such subjects, diba? Not many had responded to such call, and it must be respected, which is what I am doing now. In order to be updated as to the last transaction that I was able to carry on, yeah, Since I am able to carry on the business that she had left, and I have come to embody the duly authorized representative, as well as being a business person in my own rights, as well as being in the arts, in music, in my own rights, by my own right. I was able to fill up that void that she left when she had passed on. Diba? That vulnerability that in her last years, we were able to heal, to cure. Um, it was, the transition had to be made. So I had really limited my communication, not because I wanted to, but you know, the times had called for it, and I was so busy na busy na hindi na, sabi nila, di ba, when we get joked or ribbed about it, ay busy ka sa pagpapayaman. No, it's not so. It's a matter of existential existential proof of life. Kumbaga, in order for me to have that, to have an equal playing field as well, I had to undergo due course, and now it's the 1st of October 2021, and I am just so grateful for the help of different people and different community who had contributed, participated in activities and projects that I was part of. You have lent me your credibility, you have lent me your name, and for that, hindi ko man maisa-isa, I am just so thankful. And for that, thank you so much. This is yours truly, Clarisse, and it's a Thursday. And see you again tomorrow. Bye.